Hello, and thank you for inviting me to this very important conference. As the previous slide said, my name is Andrea.Kendall. I'm a Wiccan high priestess and a legal clergy. While I'm also a national interfaith representative for the Coven of the Goddess, the views I will express in this video are my own, and in no way are meant to represent COG in any official way. Since most of you don't know who I am, I thought I would just give a brief overview of my spiritual journey. That spiritual journey began when I was 16, and I'm now 57. So I've walked this path for about 40 years. I'm always learning and growing. That's part of the reason I'm excited to be here with you, because I look forward to watching the other videos and hearing what other people say and learning from them. My personal tradition was based on 1734 plus Wicca, so it was a combination. It was eclectic by nature. It was started by my high priestess Crystal, who is in the Long Beach area of California. As I stated, I'm a high priestess and have been one for over 20 years. That journey began when I formed my own coven in the Covina area. The tradition I created built upon what I had been taught, adding to it such things as Kabbalah and Eastern philosophies. I also formalized what I'd learned, making a 2-book guide for my students. At the same time, I was also working in high technology for Fortune 500 companies such as IBM and Sun Microsystems, where my passion was making things that were easy for people to use and actually help them. These days, I try to use all of my life experiences to do my part to create a kinder society. So for this conference, I'm going to go over the questions that were submitted on the website. The first one being, how do you define Wicca? It's a lifestyle, worldview, and a religion all rolled up in one. However, when I'm speaking at interfaith events, I define it as follows. A nature religion that includes the idea of the divine feminine. Wicca has no holy book, nor central authority. Instead, it emphasizes individual experience and responsibility. Its holy days are celebrated with the idea of both paying attention to the natural cycles of life that surround us, as well as our own individual life journey from birth to death. Being a nature religion, Wicca views humans as being just another animal, who by virtue of our intelligence is responsible for caring for the world we live in. Finally, Wicca's key ethic guideline, the Wiccan Rede. 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill. And it harm none, do what ye will. Seek to allow maximum freedom for the individual, while challenging them to make sure that their actions cause the minimum harm possible to themselves and the world. However, I know that most of you are well aware of these surface definitions. For this conference, I want to dig a little bit deeper. I submit that Wicca is a non-dogmatic, modern nature religion formed in the 20th century. It honors the concepts and energies that have been with us since we evolved into Homo sapiens, but in a way that is appropriate to our modern times. Wicca honors the goddess. This is important because having a female face of the divinity changes the way that we view the world and each other. Wicca is sex positive and embraces the joy of living, while also recognizing the sorrows that everyone experiences. It emphasizes practices that should be integrated into your life. It teaches that every person can experience the sense of wonder and awe that we get by observing nature. And it challenges us to recognize our place within that natural web. Wicca became popular in a large part due to the feminist movement. It often combines things such as Western magical practices, indigenous practices, traditional witchcraft, and a mythical cycle inspired by the Celtic year. While it has no central authority, no holy book, nor any prophets, it does remind us that all living things are sacred and are to be honored. While it honors a goddess, many Wiccans, including myself, also honor a god as being the equal companion of the goddess. Many groups also honor a non-gendered concept which represents all of reality. This concept is referred to simply as spirits. Wicca's ethics, the Read, ask each of us to evaluate each situation and determine what actions will cause the least amount of harm in the long run. In other words, it asks us to think. Rather than giving us a set rules to follow, each of us must view each situation and act in accordance with this guideline. It is a highly individualist tradition. It is a mystery religion. It emphasizes experience and knowledge. It is holistic. It honors nature and our part. And that is the key that is the Wiccan path, to honor it all. Wicca does not try to convert people. Indeed, it only wants people who want to follow it. In fact, I was told when I was coming up in this path that in the old days, people would come to groups and they would be turned away at least 3 times. This was done to make sure that the person coming was serious about studying the craft and really wanted to be there. Most modern Wiccans celebrate 8 main holidays that occur during solstices and equinox. It's important that these are natural events that you can see with your own 2 eyes. On top of these natural events, we weave a mythic tale. Wiccans do not believe in sin, nor do they view life as a punishment. Instead, they see it as a gift, an opportunity to experience and grow. Wiccans use rituals such as Sabbats and moons to form a deeper connection with the cycles of the year and also to recharge themselves. Every Wiccan should be treated as having equal worth. Leaders should step up or have been recognized by an established group because they are viewed as being ready to teach or to contribute to the greater Wiccan community. Because of Wicca's lack of formal structure, there are less people who are legally recognized clergy. However, there are many who act as leaders, some of small groups, some of large. There are also many who worship alone. All these paths are of equal value. Wicca is thus a large framework that allows everyone, from humanist atheists to spiritual people, to honor nature and life. Here, a framework is defined as a set system that makes building something meaningful so much easier. Wicca recognizes that life can be hard, but also joyous. We allow ourselves to feel appropriate sorrow. We also do the work we need so that we can experience as much purpose and joy as we are able. I believe that the following traditional farewell that is said at many rituals gives a good idea of the spirit of Wiccan worship. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Merry meet. Meet and joy and work towards trust and building deep relationships. These relationships might be with the natural cycle. They might be with the Lord and the Lady. They may be with individual gods and goddesses. They may be with the people that you work with and worship with. They may be with yourself. Merry parts. Leave in joy. Refreshed, taking what you have experienced in the ritual out into the world to share. And merry meet again. Know that your part is something larger than yourself, that you can return to ritual, adding what you've learned in your daily experiences to the joy of being in that circle, the circle that has no beginning nor ending. The next question is, what role do I play within Wicca? Currently, I seek to combine my business knowledge and my experience as a high priestess to do my part to create a kinder society. Everything I do stems from my belief that you have to work for the society that you want to live in. I ran a coven for over 20 years in the Southern California area, starting out prior to the internet being so available. My work included creating a large one-on-one course, teaching amazing students, writing rituals, and co-running the group with 2 amazing high priests and 1 extraordinary high priestess. I hold legal credentials via the Covenant of the Goddess and have both legally married people and buried them. For those who have not heard of the Covenant of the Goddess, or COG for short, it was founded in 1975. It's an advocacy organization that seeks to foster cooperation among Wiccans and witches, to secure legal protection, to provide education through outreach, and to nurture its members through dialogue and community. If you're curious, you can find out more about COG via their Facebook page or by visiting cog.org. As a member of COG, I was active for years in the local Southern California Council. This included helping run activities such as a campout and a witches' ball that was well received by the local community. I helped establish the use of virtual meetings at COG's annual business meeting, working with a woman, Rachel Walker, who I highly admire, to ensure the smooth integration of virtual attendance at the meeting. Having lost a friend when I was in my 20s, and personally not being satisfied with the funerary rites I found online, I created an online resource called Merry Part. This resource contains suggestions for funerary rites and also how to let your personal wishes be known. This work can be found at the cog.org website. When life moved me to Oregon, I became active in interfaith work and have been doing that for the last 5 years. I've been very lucky to be part of an interfaith council of Greater Portland, which welcomed me with open arms. This council wisely works on building deep and meaningful personal relationships between its members. These include both people of faith and non-faith. Examples of my work in the interfaith arena include attending monthly meetings where I learn from other people and share with them, participating in world-class religions, taking training and practicing de-escalation, collecting clothing for the disadvantaged families, and supporting religions that are especially vulnerable, such as our Muslim neighbors. This year, I was made a national interfaith representative for the Covenant of the Goddess. I threw my hat in the ring with a proposal for this year's Parliament of World Religions, entitled Bursting Out of the Interfaith Bubble to Reach the Greater Community. This workshop is set up to challenge its participants to explore ways in which we can reach past our normal interfaith community. While the proposal was not selected, it has opened amazing doors for me, and I hope to actively participate and help others at this year's Parliament. I have also fleshed out this workshop, creating a slideshow, checklist, posters, and workbook that is freely shared via Google Docs. It is my hope that the workshop might be used by others for a much-needed discussion of how we can extend the reach of the important interfaith work. For anyone that's interested, I will also have a link about this at the end of the video. In addition to this, I am also on extra pastoral care at Providence Mount St. Vincent, a Catholic-run hospital. This opportunity to provide my services clergy to members of the larger pagan community was only possible because of my interfaith work. In addition to this, I participate in the local CUPS group's rituals, CUPS being a pagan subset of the Unitarian Universalist religion. I also attend various Wiccan meetups in order to share what I've learned and to continue to learn for others. I make it a point, in addition to doing interfaith work, to doing intra-faith work and visit other pagan groups such as our local Druid Grove, where I've learned much and added much to my personal experience and practices. As time permits, I have a small group of people over to my house and hold private rituals. The next question is, what are your practices that are Wiccan in nature? The way I live my life is consistent with my Wiccan beliefs. Every day I incorporate small rituals into my life. These include a morning gratitude practice and meditation. I also participate in extreme recycling, pick up trash left in my local forest, and offer food that would otherwise be thrown away, that is safe to do so, to my local forest and trees. I work on building a relationship with the place where I live and the people in my life. This includes my neighbors and the animals that I'm blessed to live near. Every night, I send out energy to people who have asked me to do so. Weekly, I go walking with my wonderful husband. I use mindful meditation to connect to the forest and others as I walk, working a kind of magic with each step. I participate in CUPS rituals, Wiccan meetups, and private rituals, as I mentioned, in my house. I also have created mini rituals to perform at various interfaith events. I use my gifts and experiences to try to guide my own life and continue growing and help others. This includes using the best science I can find to preserve nature as it is. I thus strive to work towards the greater good, to serve my lovely lady and noble lord in joy. This question is, what value does Wicca offer to me? Wicca offers me a rich system that meets my psychological and spiritual needs. A belief that honors science as the best tool we have for understanding nature, while understanding its limits. It adds a mythology that helps me grow and deal with life's challenges and celebrate its joy. And most, maybe importantly, it offers me a community of interesting, smart, and creative people. And for the final question, what value does Wicca offer the world? It's my belief that Wicca offers a practical guide to life that embraces all aspects of life, the good and the bad, while putting the emphasis on the joy to be found right here and now. It offers the concept of a divine feminine being, as well as the masculine that's been honored traditionally in the Western world. It reminds us the value of every living being. Wicca provides a worldview that honors nature as sacred and calls us to protect it, because we do not destroy that we consider holy. Wicca is a religion that shows you can have fun and do good. You don't have to be serious all the time. It honors the trickster and play and joy, reminding us that we can use this to heal ourselves and to go out and do good. It provides artists and leaders who are inspired by its values, as well as everyday people who both accept their personal power and responsibility. It incorporates people from all walks of life, education, economic status, people who show that you can both nurture yourself and your community. Of course, the real answer, what Wicca offers, depends on each of us and how we use it. Hopefully, we use it to heal ourselves, claim our power, and help each other, rather than eat our own, which sometimes happens. Hopefully, we look deep into the message of Wicca, its natural rhythms. Use that to preserve life, to make ourselves happy, and to spread those happiness to those we care about. Though I may never meet any of you in the circle, we are all bound and in the circle together of life. I want to thank you for listening. May you dance in the moonlight and play in the sunlight. Blessed be.